How many times have you found yourself looking to the future, full of plans and promises of change? Next year would be the time to start. Next Monday would be the turning point. But when the new cycle arrives, you realize that you are doing the same things, experiencing the same situations, without having taken that decisive step. It is not uncommon to promise that now it will happen and wait for the perfect date to act. And then the routine continues. Time passes, and the promises become increasingly distant. The problem is that we often convince ourselves that change needs to be waited for, as if a date on the calendar were the key to starting what we really want to do. But what if I told you that we don't need a special date to start taking action? What if the true moment for change was now, right where you are, without having to wait for something external to commit to what you want to achieve? Today, we are going to look at Stoic thinking and how it can be the key to transforming the way we approach our goals and actions. No matter what's on the calendar, the power to transform your life is in your hands right now. Before we get started, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Here you will find simple but powerful ideas that can really make an impact on your life right now. Part 1. The danger of false promises. It is very common for us to start the year or even a new week with promises of radical changes. Now it's going to happen, we think. Promises to ourselves seem like something motivating, a first step towards transformation. But in reality, this often creates a mental trap. We create an illusion of progress, as if the simple act of planning would be enough to achieve our goals. And in the end, we don't move forward. What happens is that we get stuck in the idea that the future will give us a better chance, that change will happen when the conditions are ideal. The truth is that the future is uncertain. It is not under our control. What the Stoics teach us is something very simple but powerful. The only certainty we have is the present moment. The time that is here before us is the only thing we really have. Promising something for the future may give us a momentary sense of relief, but the only time we can truly use to change is now. The mistake of focusing on the future prevents us from taking action, and Stoic philosophy invites us to abandon this illusion. What matters is not the promise of tomorrow, but what we are capable of doing today with the tools we already have. Let's reflect on this. What can you do today, in this very moment, to start getting closer to what you want? Part 2. The power of now. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This phrase carries enormous weight because it reminds us that what truly defines our lives are not the circumstances, but the way we choose to respond to them. And the most interesting thing is that, in order to react wisely and efficiently, we must first understand that the present moment is the only one we can control. Postponing action, leaving for tomorrow what can be done today, is like handing your life over to chance. When we say, "Tomorrow I will start," we are saying that the power to change lies in the future, something that, by nature, is beyond our reach. The now, on the other hand, is the only concrete thing we have in our hands. Why wait for a chance in the future, if the only real moment we have left is this one? Stoic philosophy teaches us to embrace the now. We do not need to wait for a great external transformation or a special date to start taking action. Every significant change begins in the present, with the decision to take the first step. If we wait for the future, we run the risk of never really taking action because tomorrow will always become today, and this now will be constantly postponed. So why wait? The power to shape your reality is in your hands, and it starts right where you are. Part 3. The role of small actions. It's easy to get seduced by big resolutions. The beginning of a new cycle, like the new year, makes us dream of huge changes, as if the only way to transform our lives were through a great effort or a change of direction. But the truth is that often these resolutions are so grand that they become unattainable. We create unrealistic expectations and, in the end, we get frustrated because we can't achieve everything at once. The secret of the Stoics is simplicity. Instead of trying to change everything at once, they teach us to start with small but consistent steps. The philosopher Epictetus believed that true change begins with daily discipline, with small actions, with the choices we make at every moment. Do you want to improve your health? Don't wait for next month or next year to take the first step. How about starting with a 10-minute walk today, instead of waiting for the perfect moment? Often, the secret is not in taking big leaps, but in taking small steps consistently. Each action, no matter how small, is a building block for something bigger. Stoicism teaches us that real change doesn't have to be grandiose. It can start simply. The important thing is to act now, without waiting for a big event or the right date. Part 4. Control what is within your reach. Stoic philosophers had a very clear vision of what we should focus on, what is within our reach. They understood that there are things we simply cannot control, such as the future, the actions of others, and even certain circumstances in life. But no matter how uncertain tomorrow may be, we always have control over our choices and reactions in the present. Stoicism teaches us that we should focus our energy on what we can truly influence. You can't decide what the future will bring, but you have the power to take the first step now, without waiting for the ideal conditions. We often get stuck waiting for everything to fall into place perfectly, but the truth is that the control over big changes lies in the small actions we take in the present moment. So instead of getting lost in worrying about what's to come, focus on what you can do here and now. Do something simple but meaningful. If you want to improve your diet, prepare a healthy meal today. If you want to be more productive, start organizing your space now. Don't wait for the perfect circumstances. Control lies in your ability to act in the present, on what is within your reach. Part 5. The illusion of being ready. How many times have you found yourself waiting for the perfect moment to start something? The idea that you need to be completely prepared or have everything under control to take the first step is something we all face. But according to Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic thinkers, perfection is a myth. Waiting for an ideal condition to act is, in fact, an illusion that only prevents us from moving forward. The reality is that true preparation does not come before, but rather during the process. Don't wait until you feel that you are completely ready to start. Practice, doing, is what creates the experience necessary for transformation. Thinking that there is a right moment to act is a common mistake, but life, in its essence, will never be perfect. The fear of not being prepared keeps us paralyzed and ready to postpone action, when, in fact, what we need most is to start now, with what we have, with the resources that are already within our reach. The secret is to accept that mistakes and imperfections are part of the journey. There is no way to learn without trying, without making mistakes, without adjusting your course along the way. The perfect moment will never come, but the opportunity to act is always within your reach if you allow yourself to begin. Part 6. Time does not wait. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, had a profound insight into time. He warned us, we waste time as if it were infinite. Many times we wait for the right time to act, convinced that we have all the time in the world. However, while we are waiting, life goes on. Time does not stop, and each lost moment is a piece of our life that will never be recovered. The great lesson of the Stoics is precisely this. Time is not something we can control. It moves forward relentlessly, regardless of our expectations or our will. The key is to realize that the present moment is the most valuable. There is no point in waiting for an ideal occasion, for a perfect scenario. True action, real change, happens in the now. If you keep putting it off, a year, 2 years, 5 years or more could go by without you taking the first step. Don't let time slip away. Use this moment as the most important one, because it's the only one that really matters. Every second that passes is an opportunity for transformation, and if you don't act now, you're only postponing the life you could be living. Part 7. The importance of consistency. While the world often celebrates big promises and radical changes, Stoicism teaches us that true power lies in consistency. For the Stoics, more important than making big promises of transformation is cultivating daily discipline. Lasting change doesn't come from big leaps, but from small actions repeated consistently over time. The key is to understand that real progress is built step by step. A small change when made every day will eventually outweigh any big goal we put off. Stoicism reminds us that consistent practice, even if it seems insignificant at first, is what leads to true transformation. It's not about achieving a big victory all at once, but about adding up small successes that, over time, will make all the difference. So, instead of waiting for a perfect moment to act, start with what you can do today, simply and consistently. Daily discipline is the true key to success because it shapes our reality in a silent but powerful way. Part 8. Turn intention into action. Intention is a powerful thing, but by itself, it is just a thought. It is easy to create good intentions, plan changes, and even feel like we are on the right track. However, without action, these intentions are nothing but empty ideas that never come to fruition. What really matters is not what we think, but what we do with those thoughts. Now, I want you to do something simple but powerful. Grab a pen and paper. Write down something you can do immediately. It can be something small, something that is within your reach right now, in this very moment. Don't wait for a bigger opportunity, a change of scenery, or extra motivation. Do it now, while you have this idea in mind. The first step is the most important, and it only happens when we turn intention into action. And most importantly, do it. Don't put it off. Don't wait for the perfect conditions to appear. The time to act is now, and the only way to see your life truly change is by taking action on what you want. Part 9. Be inspired by example. When you decide to start now, you are not only transforming your own life, you are also becoming a source of inspiration for others. We often wait for motivation to come from outside, from a speech or a leader, but the real power lies in our daily actions, in the small choices we make at every moment. Stoicism teaches us that our actions speak louder than words, and they can be a light for those around us. By starting today, you are not only changing your reality, but also showing others that it is possible to take action, even without waiting for the perfect moment. By committing to the present, you inspire those who are watching this journey, and often, your example can be the push someone needs to take the first step too. The best leadership comes from action. By living according to the principles you believe in, you create a silent but profound impact. And in the end, this is what makes us stronger, not only for ourselves, but as part of a community that grows and rises together. Part 10. Now is your opportunity. We often wait for a sign, a specific date, a right time to change something in our lives. The new year, for example, is marked as the ideal time to start new habits, set goals, and seek transformation. But what are we really doing when we wait for a date on the calendar? We are postponing change and allowing ourselves to be fooled by the false idea that only external changes, such as the turn of a new year, can bring about real transformation. What we need to understand is that true power lies in the present. The now, the moment we are in, is the only point over which we have control. The future, no matter how much we want to plan for it, is still uncertain. The past, no matter how much we have learned from it, no longer exists. So, what do we have left? The present. If you continue to cling to the calendar, dates, and external moments to act, you will continue to postpone the steps you could take now. Don't wait for a perfect moment, because it simply does not exist. What really matters is what you do right now. It may be a small step, it may be a small change, but the important thing is that it happens now. Seneca, with his Stoic wisdom, reminds us that, as we speak, life is passing by. Every second that passes is a second that will never come back. So the big question is, what are you going to do with the time you have now? Keep waiting for an opportunity that never comes, or decide to take action and do what can be done today. The future is shaped by the choices we make in the present, and with every step you take now, you are creating the life you want for yourself. So, seize the moment. Don't let time slip away, waiting for a special date or an event that will never come. The now is the real present, and it is in it that your life happens. Start now, because true transformation begins in the present and is built over time with the choices you make here and now. Part 11. The power of persistence. Real change doesn't happen overnight. The world we live in often glorifies big, quick wins and instant transformations, as if success is something that happens all at once. However, Stoicism teaches us a fundamental truth. True strength comes from persistence, the ability to keep going even when the results aren't immediate. Meaningful progress never happens all at once. Instead, it's built on small, consistent actions over time, and that's what makes persistence so powerful. Even when you feel like you're going nowhere, know that every step you take, no matter how small, is contributing to your evolution. The Stoics believed that the greatest value lies not in the end result, but in the process of improving yourself each day, with discipline and focus. Imagine that you have a big goal, but the path to it seems long or difficult. The temptation to give up can be great, especially when the progress seems small or invisible. But it is precisely in these moments that persistence becomes crucial. Perseverance is the quality that allows you to keep going, even when the rewards are not immediate. Remember that each day that you keep moving forward, without getting discouraged, is a step closer to your goal, even if the results do not appear immediately. The secret is not in speed, but in consistency. If you can do a little each day, even at a slow pace, you will soon realize that small victories accumulate and, over time, will form big changes. Do not underestimate the power of daily effort, because it is this that, in the long run, will bring significant results. The strength of persistence lies in not stopping, in not giving up in difficult moments. And, as Stoicism teaches us, even when the winds are not in our favor, it is our determination that guides us. The secret to success, in fact, is to keep going, no matter how challenging the path may seem. Part 12. The power of starting over. Failure is not the end. In fact, failure can be one of the best opportunities to start over and grow. In modern society, we are constantly pressured to succeed quickly, to achieve our goals immediately. When we fail, we often feel ashamed or discouraged, as if there is no more room for us in our journey. However, Stoicism teaches us exactly the opposite. Failure is not something to be feared, but rather an opportunity to learn and renew. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminds us that we are all fallible. We are not perfect, and we will inevitably make mistakes. What is important, however, is how we respond to these failures. We should not dwell on our mistakes or allow them to define who we are. True power lies in our ability to pick ourselves up, adjust course, and keep going. Starting over is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of resilience and courage. Every failure brings with it a valuable lesson. If we know how to look at our mistakes with humility and wisdom, they become steps on the ladder of personal growth. When life knocks us down, the challenge is to not stay down. Get up, adjust your plans, and move on. Starting over is actually an opportunity to do things differently, wiser, and stronger. Don't be afraid to try again, because the true journey is made up of trials, errors, and learning. Stoicism teaches us that life is not a straight line. The road will be full of ups and downs, and true wisdom lies in learning to walk even in the most difficult moments. Starting over is our chance to redefine what is possible. Each time we try again, we take one more step towards the person we want to be. So if you have fallen, if you have made a mistake, or if the path did not turn out as expected, do not despair. Do not treat yourself as a defeated person. Look at failure as a springboard, a chance to start over with more wisdom. True transformation does not happen through perfection, but through the willingness to keep trying, to start over whenever necessary. The time has come for you to do things differently. Life does not wait, and transformation begins now, in the present. What can you change today without waiting for a special date or the right time? It could be an attitude, a small action, a step towards your goals. What's important is that you start now. Leave your answer in the comments. Share with us what you're willing to change immediately. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity to subscribe now and continue learning how to apply ancient wisdom in a practical way in your daily life. Together, we can transform the present and create a more conscious and powerful future. See you in the next video.